Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Way Up Trading. Now today I want to go over the play of the day, none other than SOUN AI, ticker symbol SOUN. Awesome play today. We actually called it out really early today prior to market open on our Way Up Trading group. It was a fantastic play. Actually wound up getting us back 130% profits on the move. Fantastic play that the stock actually ran up today to a high of roughly about 17% at its peak, touching $4.44 before coming back and retracing. Awesome play. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Congratulations to everyone that caught the move. Also went ahead and actually placed the move a little bit afterwards onto Twitter for folks to get an opportunity to get in on the play. Congratulations if you're able to catch that move. Huge one. We're going to go over how we actually analyzed this one and took the play, how it was found, and we're going to do all of that and more right after this.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And in order to find this trade, a great strategy for finding trades in the morning is doing the work, getting up a little early, taking a look and see what's moving and shaking. And normally what I like to do is go on my screeners and look for the volume gappers throughout the early daytime. You can see what stocks are actually picking up the most volume, which ones are actually moving early in the morning, typically meaning that some kind of information may be going up. You also may want to go and take a look to see if there's any breaking news on the stock, any information, any possible earnings coming up, things of that nature. Good idea to go and do the research in advance, just so you know whether or not a move could be coming or potentially some other catalyst may be forming around the stock that you choose. Typically upside, a lot of times you can find downside as well. But the key is to find volume gappers, take advantage of them, take them to the charts to see what opportunities may lie there. And that's one of the keys to getting and finding plays consistently and regularly. There's plays all over, just need to understand how to read the charts and take advantage of them from there. Now, I typically use Webull. I have a link down in the description. If you're not already using Webull, it's a good idea to go and check them out. Link in the description. But I typically use Webull in order to take a look at some of the information, some of the details about the company if I'm not familiar with them. Also getting an idea of sentiment, float size, any general news that's coming out, or what the actual company may do. Things of that idea to become familiarized when taking a trade in advance, just so we can have a better idea, a clearer understanding what the potential outcome could be once we enter into that trade. I got the 3-day chart pulled up here right now on the screen, and you can take a look here really easily just to get a quick indication of what we're seeing. This is the 3-day chart. You can actually see how simple it is to call this particular pattern that we have right here. You can see that from the inception, we got a drop down roughly back in May of 2022 when this was actually listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And now we have this setup here, which is basically an inverse head and shoulders. Below the trading range is roughly between the 439 mark and 253 mark. This location here, the head of the inverse head and shoulders, was able to act as a spring, pushing the price right back up into the range and topping it back out. This is back in the early part of the year, 2023, roughly around February, where we got this huge move from the lows of about 194 all the way back up to about $4.38 in a very short time frame. You can see volume has steadily picked up in this area after the stock has been beat down, and now looking to make its way back up towards the higher levels, possibly potentially breaking the trading range and starting a new trading range somewhere in here, being that it did not trade enough. AI is obviously all the rage right now. We all understand that AI is in a situation where it is leading the market to the upside, and this particular stock is no different. So it does have a catalyst behind it that actually is drawing it to the upside. But as far as the chart's concerned, you can see that this inverse head and shoulders played out. You can consider this a spring area down here, roughly back in the beginning of 2023. This is a spring test area, we'd say roughly about May of 2023 as well, hitting the bottom of this trading range and then making this way to proceeding upwards. So this is a broad stroke overview of the 3-day chart. Again, an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bullish reversal formation. And we're going to go take a look at this step by step to start moving inward to show how we actually were able to lock this play down. Catch it today for the move that nearly brought in 130% returns, as well as a 17% return if you were to play just commons on the entry and exits. Let's keep on moving right ahead. Pulling up here the 1-day chart here, you can basically see that there is, in this spring test area we talked about a moment ago, again, this is the larger spring area here, roughly down by about the $1 mark, bringing it back up to the top of the trading range. And this is now considered to be the spring test if you're looking at this from a Wyckoff sense. In that sense, it actually did form a Gartley pattern, which is a reversal sign. A bearish reversal sign, but nonetheless it's a sign that actually shows upward mobility to a top before coming back down and retracing down to a lower point in the schematic. But right now, in this case, this being a little bit more of an accumulation style On the macro chart, this most likely would then hit our max target roughly around the 467 mark off of this pattern, and then start to hold the top of the trading range, and in my belief may start a new type of pattern to the upside once it breaks, considering this 439 444 area to be considered a last point of support before taking a bigger move on an accumulation style on the macro sense. All right, you can see from here on the 1-day chart, we were able to go ahead and catch this move. We did see that we had support that was pretty strong here, roughly around the $3.90 mark, which was the XA off of this Gartley pattern. Now the XA move off of this is harmonic trading. If you'd like to know more about harmonic trading, let me know in the comment section, or you can actually go ahead and get involved with our trading group. We're going to be putting a lot of different things up there. The link is down in the description, showing more details on how we actually trade this type of momentum, also this type of trading style. However, this was an XA location where we had set up here at $3.90. We went in and broke this thing and noticed that we found support. We were able to call that this was going to continue in the bullish fashion towards the upside. After looking at the volume on the 1-day chart, we can see this thing was steadily increasing above our signal line, a dead indication that this thing wanted to continue to the upside. And that's pretty much what we needed to see in order to start to confirm our location and actually catch that run that took place today after breaking and holding this area. Now looking here at the 4-hour chart, you can get a closer look at this stair-stepping like motion up to this area, which is also has formed some sort of a bullish channel to the upside. You can see that it's been playing the ins and outs of and the top sides and midline of this channel here, going up to the top here of this trading range I mentioned a little while ago, which is roughly about the 440 mark. You can see today, going into this price action on the day, you can see this big move where it retraced to the bottom of the trading range, roughly about 370, just below it actually, and that was enough of a spring catalyst to push it all the way back up to the top of the trading range and breaking it roughly, getting us a high today of roughly about $4.44. Beautiful move from top to bottom, roughly a 20% move in 1 day. We caught about 17% of that during the regular trading hours. About 3% of it actually took place in pre-market. So overall, fantastic play to catch just by being able to catch the charts, read the charts in advance, get in position, and then ride the way up. We already had our parameters in place. We understood we were within this bullish channel, had our midline already set up, had our top of our trading range, which again around that $4.30 mark, being the top of the trading range overall on the macro chart on the 3-day we showed a little earlier. And from there, those are all the pieces that we really needed in advance to know that this was going to be in a situation where it was going to move to the upside based upon the chart and its positioning in advance. So I got the indicators open back up just to take a second look at this thing, and you can see clearly in open pre-market, this is where things started to get a little interesting. We had multiple crosses and things actually happened roughly about 6:05 a.m. in the morning. We see that volume started to pick up a little bit early on. We have a 1348 cross and 921 cross at roughly about 6:30 a.m. before things started to pick up into the morning, hitting the midline, dropping back down briefly, but holding above the 9 EMA. Noticing the midline was still here. You can see there was a brief drop in the morning on the 5-minute chart where it was quickly sold off, and a tweezer bottom setup came back in, meaning that volume came in. These two candles basically cancel each other out. This huge dump down on the selling side, high volume, immediately challenged by green buying pressure early on in the morning, roughly at about 9:30, right at open, 9:30, 9:40 a.m. Challenged this thing and brought it right back up after touching the bottom of this trend line, or the bottom support of the bull channel that we talked about a little earlier. And then from there, we entered right here, right at the touch of the bottom, which is roughly about $3.70. Was able to get a very low fill at about 13 cents or so. And from there, just let it ride. It ripped all the way back up. We got our confirmation here. If you would have just caught this on the 5-minute side at the 921 cross, it would have been very nice for you. You can see that this thing actually went ahead and started crossing our levels of support, and roughly here at the 921 cross, you see this yellow triangle or yellow cross here that confirms the yellow and blue lines have now crossed over each other to the upside above the 200 moving average. And then from there, it was game on, basically crossing through our first support level at 390, hitting the next support level at 412, coming back to retest the midline, and from there it just was a rocket all the way up until it blew through the top of this bull channel that we had already established, retested it, and continued to go to play the top end of the trading range on the macro, which is basically where we took the majority of our profits, topping somewhere about 130% on the move. Fantastic play. It was for $5 calls. are for the 7/7 expiration date, and couldn't ask for much more on this thing. We're able to pretty much clear that out, take the majority of our profits, leave some runners, and then wind up closing out the rest of them once we start to enter back into this bull channel. Fantastic play. Couldn't ask for anything more. This is again called out on our trading group in advance right here. To take a look at that. Plays like this come very often. We make sure we pass on the information to everyone in our groups so that we can all have an opportunity to grow, learn from each other, make some money on the way up, talk about it, get better, hone our skills, master the craft, stack and build, make the outcome income. If you're interested in taking the next step in the trading journey and want to learn a little bit more, get some ideas, learn from a couple good traders, as well as some opportunities like this, link is down in the description for the Way Up Trading Group. Love to see you guys in there. Take a look at that when you get the opportunity. But just want to go over some of the plays that we pick up, and hopefully we're able to pick up a little bit of value from this video. So that pretty much wraps up the video. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns in the comment section below. Join us on the way up. We're going to be here each and every day, growing our portfolios together and making the outcome income for 2023. Again, if you're into getting involved with a trading group that learns, grows, stacks, and builds, we got the link down in the description. Get involved with us. Try it out. See how you like it. Let's make the outcome income for 2023. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you in the next video. Peace.